Welcome to the Joyage Kingdom. In today's video, we're going to be doing a review on Psychedelic Anonymous because this is the project that everyone's talking about. Now, in my research, I found a lot of things out about this project, and there's a lot of cool things, there's a lot of things that are very interesting, and there's a lot of things that you really need to pay attention to. This project launched within the last month, and there's so much to talk about, so I really hope and I really encourage that you stay to this video until the end. As you guys know, on this channel, we're here to instill the knowledge and confidence it's going to take to navigate this metaverse on your own one day, not to shill a bunch of stupid fucking projects, but to use analysis and to actually learn something. So, if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Smash like in this video, click out of the full screen, click like, give me a like. Everything I put out there on the internet is for free. And if you haven't subscribed to the Kingdom, you may as well get started because we're going to be making videos almost every single day covering all the NFT content for you. In our last Brutally Honest review video, we covered Cool Man's Universe, which did literally a 12x within the week that we covered them, which was insane. And as always, guys, we are partnered up with Subducks NFT because we have the same vision. I partner with projects that are doing cool things and want to take over the world just like the Joyage Kingdom does. We partner up with the best projects. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, and real quick, we got to shout out the Joyage Kingdom Discord. There's been a lot of cool things that happened recently. First off, Sean and Austin, two of my OG Discord members who kind of combined. Sean did a graffiti piece for me, and Austin made it into a graffiti art GIF thing, and it's amazing, and I love it. And so that's the new intro you guys are seeing. We also hit 1,000 members in the Joyage Kingdom Discord, so we chopped it off. As we said, it's just a private Discord now. You can still join, but those first 1,000, that will be its own separate channel. Shout out to Wiggins and to Cow's Potato for getting us to over level 3, so we can have this amazing GIF be our new banner. I love it. So here's Psychedelic Anonymous' OpenSea page. This is their Genesis collection of like the avatars. The floor price of 1.8 Ethereum, almost 10,000 volume traded, 6.9 thousand owners for 9.6 thousand items. That is a very, very good spread right there. And here's what they look like. The art is pretty fucking cool. It very much fits what's going on right now as far as 3D. It's very cool. It reminds me a lot of The Mummy. You guys remember like way like 10-12 years ago with like Brandon Fraser? The Mummy, this reminded me of a lot. And yeah, this is one of those projects you look at the art just objectively and you go, yep, that'll work. That'll work. And holding this Genesis NFT gives you exclusive access, including a limited edition Genesis merchandise, limited edition Genesis metaverse wearables, support services, business, performance, mental health, Web3 accelerator access, VIP metaverse areas, VIP areas at real-life events, future staking and DAO allocation. And yeah, so it looks like this is kind of set up in the same way BioPills is set up. And honestly, I get the same type of vibe. So they launched on 22nd of December at a 0.5 floor price. They quickly went up all the way up to almost 2 ETH floor, I believe, and they've kind of come down just a tad. And it looks like they're selling like hotcakes. So people want to be in this project. It's one of those projects you look at it and you say, yeah, objectively, artistically, this will be enough, at least for some hype. Who knows if they'll be able to maintain the brand over the long period. So we have a look at their Ether scan. There's one person with 183, and then the rest are like, not many. So there's no real whales. I know in the very beginning they had some issue with the mint. I guess this is probably one of them, and someone got to mint like 100 of them. And that was just one of those, like, look, one little mistake does not completely just erase a project from existence. So I hope you guys just know that if a project makes a mistake in the beginning especially, it doesn't mean the project's trash. Alex Becker has said this before. There's a lot of projects, the IDO, and then they suck and they dump for a while, and then they come back booming a couple years later. And so that's the thing with projects making little mistakes. As long as they're not being immature and stupid about it, which we're going to talk about how they reacted to later, it's just one of those things like, yeah, sometimes things just go wrong. So I have sympathy. There's a lot of projects that have shit go wrong and are fine a few months later, right? If you just zoom out far enough, most mistakes aren't that big of a deal. Check out their website. Pretty fucking sick. I really like it. They should probably have some kind of like disclaimer for people who like pass out when they see shit like this. I always see that on TikToks, they're like some kind of disclaimer when there's like bright flashy lights and shit. But anyways, this is a really, really dope website. There's no scrolling up or down. You just go to the right side. You click on here. We Are the Night. This is some of their lore they talk about. I really like the way it's written. It's really dope. It's just cool. I really like it. I'm not going to read this whole thing out to you guys, but you guys can check this out on their website. This is important to have lore, to have a little bit of story, some fiction, fantasy. It's important. It's important for story and building a strong brand. We'll skip the team. We'll come back to the team in a second. Check out the roadmap. So they have a donation, a Genesis Mint, going to donate again. They're going to do some support for mental health. It looks like that's going to be one of the big things. That's why they're called Psychedelic Anonymous. A lot of people, the psychedelic world has kind of changed into this more of mental health and taking care of like people's yeah, just like their mental health, instead of being like all drugs and like get high as fuck and do stupid shit. And so the narrative's starting to change, and I think they're trying to be lead in that charge, honestly. They've got some virtual play to earn, some in real life challenges they're gonna be doing in the metaverse. In the psychedelic metaverse, looks like they're trying to do the same thing as biopills, make their own little thing. Something about an ascension. Genesis holders merchandise will be distributed. They're going to try and do a lot of these like in real life shit. I'm getting also strong Bored Ape vibes, and the reason for that is their founder is a Bored Ape member, and I think he's just got a lot of connections, and he's kind of seen what works and what's the proper way to do shit, because a lot of things you're going to see from a brand perspective are very impressive from a new project. They're looking to invest in some psychedelic assisted therapies, and they're looking to fund their Web3 accelerator. And then after that, they kind of just have like some lore, some utility that's coming up, but they're not super like that. They have a DAO coming up, and so it's not like that clear. This roadmap also reminds me a lot of the blue chip projects that are like, look, we're focusing on the brand, we're focusing on getting our business shit in place, getting business deals secured, working, and it doesn't have to be these stupid buzzwords that all these projects are coming up with. Honestly, if I don't see the buzzwords, I feel a little bit better, because I know that the people who are on the project are aware. Because if you have a project where the people in the NFT team aren't aware of NFT culture and shit, it's not gonna work. You have to have people who are like doing degen shit, essentially, like being in there, doing some work, and kind of making sure things work from a consumer and customer standpoint. So they have a page where they kind of just like answer some interesting questions, and one of the questions they had is for scale, and that was one of the reasons they came up with like 4 different collections you're going to see in a second, is because they're really looking, and they're kind of like futuristically planning, which is very impressive to me, and it shows that whoever's behind these projects, whoever the people are behind the team, are very aware of how the NFT world and market work, because one of the things I always tell you guys to ask your founders of projects you're interested in is, what is the long-term vision and what physical steps have you actually made in that direction? And these guys have done them straight from the mint. So if we go to their Twitter page, 121,000 followers. They've got a lot of followers on Twitter. No doubt from their owner, because he's got a lot of followers as well. But they're doing some really, really good branding work. This gives me hype clothing. They're trying to break into the fashion world, it looks like. And they've got a cool enough brand. Psychedelic Anonymous is a pretty sweet name. It's got one of those shock factor things where you look at it. Same with the art. It's all kind of shock value, and that's what they're looking to go for. Kind of like an off-white style. And they're super, super, super communicative on Twitter, doing all the right things from a brand perspective, building up proper hype. I think honestly, this stuff is just the art is so unique and interesting and kind of first of its kind. It's kind of in that first wave of 3D fashion projects that people have been talking about. And so it's got that shock factor that kind of takes it from like good branding and marketing to a point where it gets so overblown with so many flippers and stuff that I'm actually surprised that it was able to maintain a decently respectable floor when it minted, because there's just so many flippers and projects where there's just this much demand, So now let's go to the team. We have Lewis Gale, who's from Australia. I actually listened to their entire Twitter Spaces, which, by the way, I don't know if they do or not, but projects, if you have AMA sessions, you guys really should start having someone like a scribe write down the main points, or have someone write down some main points and just have like a little bit of a summary, because I had to listen to like an hour-long live stream Twitter Spaces, and it was fine, but I was like, good fucking God, I wish there was some kind of summary here. But I got to listen in and kind of hear Lewis talk, who is Bored Ape Yacht Club 2745, I guess, on Twitter, and he's the managing director at Voltura.com. This is their brand, Voltura Labs. So he's got about 10 years of experience in this world. So here's his Twitter page, 127,000 followers. I'm not quite sure where all those followers came from, but it seems to be that he's like a well-known influencer dude, and he's in the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Obviously, if you are in the Bored Ape Yacht Club, you have connections on connections on connections, and that's the top tier, A-list NFT holders right there. Now, he does an excellent job with his personal branding, no doubt. That's why he has 127,000 followers. You don't just get that unless you're good at personal branding. And he does an incredible job also being super open and communicative on their Twitter Spaces. On their Twitter Spaces that I listened to, he was very, very open and transparent about stupid shit. He's like, look, if it's a dumb question, I'm just going to pretty much brush it off. And there's a lot of questions he just said, we'll find out more in the future. He's not scared to kind of like, there's a certain level of confidence that you can kind of draw out from people and a certain vibe, and it's from someone who's very comfortable in the space. That's the vibe I got from listening to that whole thing. He was very comfortable where he's at. He knows what he's doing. It's kind of, you can just hear it in their voice, and he answered things in a very good manner that was fair. I thought there was actually one thing in there that I thought maybe he could have like held his ground a little bit more, and it was something about like Balenciaga. People thought that the shoes looked too much like Balenciaga, so he like immediately rescinded that, and I was like, maybe you could have like pushed back and like, instead of after saying, okay, we're not doing it, and then explaining yourself. Like, you probably could have explained yourself first, and a lot of people probably would have been like, oh, I see your point. But anyways, I thought this would be a good time to offer a long form podcast with you if you wanted to get a full piece of personal branding. I bet all the supporters of Psychedelic Anonymous and all your own fans would love to hear a personal branding bit. I've kind of been doing this for a lot of projects like Subducks, like Boonji, like Doodles, and so I'd love to set you up with that. You don't have to do any work on your end. I'm a professional talker. It's what I do. We can talk about Psychedelic Anonymous. We can talk about you. We can talk about, all the things. Just shoot me a DM if you're interested. We got Adam Sullivan. He's got a Twitter, but there's nothing really to look at there. He's just in charge of storytelling and, creativity and shit like that. So that's cool. We have James Manning. He's the CEO of the Mawson Infrastructure Group, which is listed on the NASDAQ, which is pretty cool. And I remember when I first read that, I was like, I'm sure this is exactly where everyone stopped reading and they said, okay, dope, NASDAQ lit. But I went and did a little bit of digging to find out what this project was. So here's his Twitter. He does a pretty good job on his personal branding as well. He's pretty active on Twitter. That company that we were just talking about is called Mawson, and it works with Bitcoin mining facilities and kind of operating those across USA and Australia. And I think this is in New York City. They bought like a huge ass billboard, so that's pretty cool. But then I went and checked out the company, and I guess they started up here at like $350 per stock, and has kind of fallen since then all the way down to about $5. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to say about that. We have Nick Hughes, who's just an advisor for Voltura Labs. He also works at the Mawson company that we just talked about. We have Kate Mahoney, who's in charge of like event planning, event manager, events, marketing, beauty, hospitality, fashion, all that shit. So I couldn't find her Twitter, but I found her Instagram, and this is her Instagram, The Corporate Life. Looks like she probably knows what she's doing as far as event planning. At least I get the vibe from her Instagram. I couldn't find anything else about her. We have Joshua Cornelli, creative lead. Couldn't really find anything about him. And we have Matt Lim, who's the lead developer at Voltura Labs. He used to work at Facebook, which is pretty cool. And then real quick, we're going to pop into my Discord, the Joyage Kingdom, answer one of the questions from the AMA section. We have Dr. Kabukenstein. What shampoo do you use in that lovely, lovely hair? You're almost like Kyle Hill status there. This is Kyle Hill, by the way. I don't even know, dude. Probably fucking whatever Walmart. I don't know. I have no idea. I just use whatever shampoos in the bathroom when I'm there. But I probably shampoo and like condition my hair like 3 times a week, maybe something like that. But anyways, if you guys want a chance to get featured in a YouTube video, pop me questions on the AMA section of my Discord. And I also want to shout out Faces or Face. I bought his NFT the other day, and I love it. I absolutely love it. He's a street artist in the UK. Just wanted to shout him out. Here's his Twitter. He's big on TikTok. He makes a lot of cool content there. Guys, you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you're doing that. Cade.Bergman. The link is in the description. There are reasons to follow every single social media account I have. I offer different value on each one, so make sure you follow me there. I also may be doing a giveaway that's available only on my Instagram, potentially. Anyways, so the Psychedelic Anonymous also have 4 components to them, so it's not just that Genesis collection. You can also buy Psychedelic Anonymous Component 1, and these are all the same. These are the access tokens, right? This is very similar to the BioPills, the BioKey, the BioVape, that same style. And this one is when you buy, if you want to participate in the game, the mini game experience, if that's something that's really important to you. Rewards includes physical items, crypto, limited run merchandise, limited run wearables, and more. So if you buy one, you get a required mini game access component. You get access to staking, which is specific to a part of the game experience. And so that's what this NFT gives you access to. And the floor is half an Ethereum, 1.3 thousand Ethereum traded, 5.9 thousand owners, 9.6 thousand items. We also have the Metaverse Pass, which is a 0.12 floor, 492 Ethereum traded, 6.4 thousand owners, 9.6 thousand items. This one is more for you if you're going to be in the Metaverse, so events, spaces, clubhouses in there, all future Metaverse Pass wearable drops, one wearables pack redeemable free of charge. This is, again, these kind of NFTs work well for people who love the project as just a brand in general, aren't really care about money, because these are the people who are like, I'm trying to buy this. And also, I'm getting the same vibe as sort of like the Mutant Apes with the Bored Apes and the Bored Ape Kennel Club. I feel like if this project picks up all of the 4 NFTs, will start to pick up, you know what I mean? And then we also have the in real life Psychedelic Anonymous Pass, 0.16 floor price, almost 500 Ethereum traded, 6.3 thousand owners, 9.6 thousand items. Looks like this. Very cool. This one, you have all access to like all in real life events. Certain merchandise drops are not available to the public. One set of Psychedelic Anonymous merchandise redeemable free of charge. And I kind of like the way they thought, but they've definitely raised a ton of money. So I expect, them to pull off some shit within the next year or so, because they got so much money from this mint. Or if they're not, if they're looking at investing it in certain ways, maybe it's going to take longer. I expect that they'll be very open and communicative about that, because they have been so far, and they've done a great job with that. And remember how I said earlier that Lewis, the owner, has a lot of connections because he's in Bored Ape Yacht Club. I'm sure he's got other NFTs. He's probably got a lot of friends. So the verified collaborations is a pretty solid list. They got Crypto Dads, Head DAO, Sappy Seals, Sneaky Vampire Syndicate, Dogepound, The Littles, World World of Women, these are big projects, guys. These are cool things. This is kind of the thing you get when you're in the club, right? They kind of did this the right way. Someone with a big personal brand who people like and is capable also and has friends that are capable and competent, puts together a project after they've watched a whole wave of projects go first, and they can come in and be that new, refreshing project. That's the vibe I get, at least for what they're trying to do. Now, obviously, this is only going to work. This whole project is based around the fact that they're creating a diamond holder foundation, and I think they've done a decent job at that because the support line has been, you know, anywhere from 0.7 to 1.5 ETH floor, which is actually very hard to maintain, and you'd be surprised at how many projects aren't able to kind of keep that. So one thing that I think they should probably do, if they're not, they may already be doing this, is that if you can, because you made so much money from these mints, I think, I would definitely try and give out some kind of short-term thing out to all the Genesis holders, because you want to create that diamond holder thing, you know, with those Genesis holders. Like if you can get them a shirt within a few months or like a couple weeks or a couple months, and they get that like in real life connection, and they're like, yo, I got this shirt and I have this NFT, like I really feel part of this project now. That's how you can really create diamond holders. As far as the branding side, they just got to stick on it. I mean, look, they had a lot of demand and hype leading up. It's really easy to crash after that, and they've done a decent job, but I expect that they've already kind of thought about that and kind of knew that going in, because they had so many people like following Twitter and shit like that. But anyways, guys, that's gonna pretty much wrap up the review. If you enjoyed yourself, if you learned something, smash a like, give me a like. Let's get these likes up. Let's get the ratio up. All right, and join the kingdom. You know, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't followed me on Twitter already, follow me there. Follow me on Instagram. Join the Joyage Discord. Do all the things. If you want to see more of me right now, click on one of these boxes on the other side of me. Until next time, continue on your Joyage. Continue to learn and be grateful you're alive watching this video.